Hello, everyone, and welcome to this meditational conversation with me, SiRi, and Helen Hansen. We are both Insight Timer meditation teachers and guides, and today we're here to talk about and paint and illustrate the I-Ching and the reading for March in 2025. So I'm just here to illustrate whatever energies come through, and I can feel them already, Helen. Would you care to say something more about what we're going to hear about today?
Yes, Siri. Hi there. So good to be back in these creative conversations with you. Really excited to be delving into the I-Ching reading now for March, as you say, this year. And while it is focused on this particular month and time frame, just know that if you happen to come across this video at a much later time, you are arriving at it at the right time, and there will be something here for you. So this is what the I-Ching is very much about, and that is, Siri, what I so appreciate with the I-Ching readings is that they are participatory. It's not oracle readings at all. It's not predictions. It is suggestions from the sages from yesteryear, from the Tao, from Confucianism. And when this information comes through, it's important for us to be really present and just notice what resonates with me, what doesn't resonate with me. Notice what happens in the body, in the mind, and just trust, because we are drawn to respond to the right suggestions at the right time.
I have one question for you before we begin, Helen. Since this is not an oracle reading or tarot reading as per se, how long would you say that this reading is for? Is it for March only, or is it for half a year, or would you say it's just for today, or what would you call it in time length?
Yeah, good question. So if one is listening to this for the intention of getting guidance for March, then it will be for March. If you are arriving here at another time, or maybe it's even in March, but you have a particular question or you need guidance that's very, very specific around a specific situation, let's say, then one would be listening and receiving in terms of that. So in other words, it can be time framed to today, it could be time framed for a month, it could be time framed for much longer if the situation is going to play out much longer. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and so if I have one specific thing that I want, or a situation that I want some guidance on, some clarity and some next steps and so forth, will I then be listening on purpose, so to speak, for myself on that, or will I hear other things that also can help other things around me in that situation so that it comes to a solution of some kind?
So it's going to depend on the intention that one sets right at the beginning. So in a few moments, we're going to set that intention. And then it will be up to all of us here to decide, what is my intention? Rather than going into it with no intention, and then it can seem quite open-ended. And, it is one way of doing a reading, but I have noticed that it can become quite confusing because there's a lot going on in life, right? And then we might get direction for this, or we think, oh, that's speaking to that, and that's speaking to that. So it is helpful to have a focus. And the I-Ching actually guides one in this way, if one is trained in reading the I-Ching, to have a focus, have an intention, come with a question, even if it's not in a question format, but you've got a situation or an issue and you want guidance on that. So it's really about guidance about something specific. So my intention is guidance for everyone, for the whole population for March 2025. However, that said, whoever's listening can override that. My intention is for guidance for this and then receive guidance for that.
Okay. And so the feelings and things happening after this reading, will we experience them, of course, very subjectively and personally on different levels? Or would you say it's purely physical, or is it more spiritual? Since I myself don't know anything about I-Ching, how does this work?
All levels, SiRi. So one can experience and receive the wisdom and the awareness on all levels. Sometimes it comes through on all levels at the same time. Sometimes, though, we only get awareness on one level, but it doesn't mean that it's not doing the work on other levels. So it's very much a spiritual soul connection, but it does translate into the physiology as well, into the cells of the body. And so we can see it translating then into actual life experience.
That sounds right up my alley right now, what I need, because it sounds like just go with the flow and receive what you shall receive. So, shall we get on with it and let some colors flow with this reading?
Please.
Yes.
I'm so looking forward to seeing what
Yeah.
you are going to signal, SiRi. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I turn my camera
Okay,
and you begin the reading. Is that okay?
thank you. That is perfect. Blank canvas is so powerful. So let's all of us come to our blank canvas, our open hearts, our open mind. Just take a few deep breaths wherever you are now, whatever you may be doing, just to create some space between yourself and any distractions, any thoughts, any worries. And now, if you would like to take this opportunity to set an intention for yourself, asking for guidance about something specific. As I mentioned, the intention that I'm coming with is guidance for all of us here for the month of March 2025. But if you want your guidance for something specific, then please take this opportunity now to ask for that. And you could say something along the lines of, please provide guidance for me for my highest good in connection with. Please provide guidance for me for my highest good in connection with, and then you fill in the blank. And now, if you can please repeat with me, I trust 100% the information I'm now receiving from the I-Ching is for my highest good. I trust 100% that the information I am receiving from the I-Ching is for my highest good. And let's breathe into that and then release that and just allow it to unfold, relax into receiving this information. And just trust that you will know what it is for you. So the hexagram that came through for the month March 2025 is hexagram number 8. And hexagram number 8 is comprised of two very interesting trigrams. So we've got 3 lines at the bottom of open lines known as yin lines. And then we've got another trigram on top, 3 lines, where we've got another broken line or open line, and then a solid yang line, that's a closed line. And then at the top, another open yin line. I'm just going to show you this for a moment here. That is the hexagram that we are looking at over there. And the I-Ching calls this hexagram union. So let's unpack this. Why is it called union? So if we start from the bottom up, we always read these hexagrams looking at the base trigram first. And that base trigram of 3 lines with a space in the middle. So 3 open lines at the bottom, 3 yin lines. That symbolizes earth. Just take a moment to think about the earth, the soil, the life in the soil, and what components are part of this earth, and what comes from the earth, and what happens on the earth. And now let's consider the next trigram above that, which is the yin line and the yang line and the yin line, and that represents water. So let's just take a moment again to connect just briefly with the element of water. What comes to mind for you when you think of water? Now think about these 2 trigrams on top of each other. Water above earth. What happens when water merges with earth? Think of the water sinking in and seeping in, and it just becomes a part of the earth transforms and takes on the water qualities, and part of the water seeps down into the earth and becomes earth-like. And so there is this harmonious merging. And this is what the union of this hexagram of the I-Ching is inviting, a harmonious union. So we see of these 2 elements, and in our life, our human life, we may see this union between experiences, between people. And these are 2 very strong themes, also based on the qualities of earth and water. So when we have a complementary union, let's start with looking at a combination of 2 people that come together that just fit. Think about somebody that you've had an incredible connection with, and it just feels like you fit so well, you connect, understand each other, there is flow, there is harmony. This is what this time is inviting. It's inviting more of those connections and relationships. So perhaps if we feel that we really don't have any of those in our life right now, we need to look at inviting those in, or perhaps considering, why don't I have that type of harmonious union in my life? And what role do I have to play in that? And what can I do? What role must I play going forward to welcome in and also maintain these relationships of harmonious union? And the other union that is referenced here is this union of our soul's blueprints. One might call it our purpose, our destiny, and then that expression coming out on earth. So the question now is, are you truly expressing your authentic self? Are you living your truth? Or is that somewhere in a dream that you think about, but you dare not go there? Now is the time. This time is so supportive for us all to know ourselves. So perhaps if you're feeling like, I don't even know what I could be doing or should be doing, or what is me and what is not me. So it's a calling to get to know that. Let's know our true nature, our higher self. And once we know that, then we can start expressing that. It makes me think of that maxim of know thyself, which leads to then being thyself. And as we've gotten to know ourselves and then expressing ourselves, as we see this beautiful expression of this interpretation taking place here on paper, and now we can love that expression. We can love thyself. And now imagine combining that with another individual or maybe group of individuals who too know themselves, express authentically, and love themselves. Imagine the powerful connection and expressions that come out of that connection, that union. And this is what hexagram number 8 is inviting. And sometimes these unions are a little bit challenging. It can be challenging to know yourself, to really sit down and connect with that part of oneself so deep within and be really truthful and say, this is who I am, nothing more, nothing less. This is what I need, and this is how I choose to express myself in the world. And once you know that, then you can naturally connect with others who are in accordance with their own truth. And that is going to be a really successful and supportive formula. So it's like we've got that equation now. We've got the formula. But it's up to us. It's up to us to take that step, or maybe we feel like we're doing that already. So now it's about maintaining that. And it's about not only being on the receiving end, but knowing that we are also here to support each other. You are here to support somebody else in their process of knowing themselves, expressing themselves, loving themselves. And for someone else, you are that perfect fit to allow all those puzzle pieces to come together. And this can be in any and all areas of life. It can be at home with your family, it can be with your friends, with your partner, with your vocation, career, with your health. In all areas this applies. And SiRi, as I look at your beautiful expression and interpretation of this hexagram number 8, I see the depth in there of the water. Water's got so much we can see in it. And as I look into the colors, there's just so much. I feel like I can go on this journey. And isn't that what water is like? It can take us on this journey if we allow it. And how the water just merges with the earth. I'm feeling that merging, especially with those expressions that you're doing right now. And it's just so free and it's so natural and light. You know, if we look at the nuclear trigrams, which are the trigrams in between the bottom 3 lines and the top 3 lines. So we've got line 2, 3, and 4 in this hexagram, which also reflects the earth. And then 3, 4, 5 is the mountain. Of course, we have earth and water in the mountain, and the water is still on top. So when we can just water cascading down the mountain. And all the while, this mountain is steadfast and strong. It's loyal. So this is another quality of this time, is loyalty. The mountain invites us to be still. So if you are unsure about any of this information, or maybe going forward, you don't know what is the next step do I take to let this information unfold. Find your mountain and sit in stillness, like a mountain sits in its stillness. And then the life just naturally unfolds. We often think we have to do so much, and yet if we allow, then our life and our expression naturally evolves, like that water flowing down the mountain at the right time, in the right way. So let us remember that stillness so that we can appreciate the depth of the water and know and trust the water and the earth merging. So as you are taking in this beautiful scene of colors and expression, that SiRi has so beautifully created. Just take a moment for yourself now, just to let everything settle, all that information settle. And you might even, if you haven't already, received a lot of guidance from this painting of SiRi. I know I have. So maybe even press pause and just sit and gaze into this visual and see where your mind takes you with the information that you've received, the spiritual wisdom, along with the spiritual visual. Trust that you are receiving and interpreting it in the perfect way. SiRi, thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful channeling of yours.
You're welcome, Helen, and everyone. I had to turn it because it was obviously painted upside down for you. So now you see what I saw. And if you turn your camera or your video or anything upside down when you're listening to Helen talking, then you can see the way it really was created. Or we can say that everything is upside down. Who cares? Who knows? This was beautiful. I had no idea this was going to come through. And it's all up to you guys looking at this, interpreting what it means to you.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Thank you. Wonderful. That was something special.
Yes, absolutely. And to do it on this really powerful new moon as well, I feel so blessed. Thank
Yes.
you, SiRi. And look forward to the next one. Let's
Yes.
do another iching reading for April, if that's good for you.
Yes, absolutely, Helen. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for watching me painting and listening to Helen. Until next
Yeah.
time. Bye.
Until next.